Why did it feel so real, but still fall apart? Feels real the way they looked at you, the way they talked, the future they promised. You could feel this intense connection between you. And then one day, they shut down and started acting like a total stranger, leaving you blindsided and confused. Now, if you're obsessing over every moment with your avoidant ex, analyzing every word they said, wondering if they ever really cared, then you're not alone. A lot of people get stuck right here, scrolling through old photos, rereading old text, replaying every moment you shared together, thinking, how can they just switch off love? That's why today, the goal is not to convince you that it didn't feel real. It's to show you what avoidant love actually looks like, why this feels incredibly real, but can still suddenly disappear, and most importantly, how you can start making sense out of what you've been through. Now, by the end of this video, you'll start to understand the difference between the love that you had and a love that is actually right for you. And this distinction is what helps you start to relax, let go of the pain, and finally know what to do. Now, over the years, so many people have come to me with the exact same question. They say, it feels so safe and so real when we're together. So how could they just shut me out of their life like they never even loved me? And when you strip everything else away, the difficult truth is this: they can feel something real between you and still pull away. And if you've been watching and learning from my videos, then you might be starting to understand how and why this is true. Now, attachment research gives us a very clear way to understand this. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 things. 1, what avoidant love often looks like from the outside. 2, what's actually happening inside them when they get close and then pull away. 3, why it felt so real to you, even if later they downplayed it. And 4, the reframe that actually helps you stop asking if it was real and start letting go of the pain and know what to do next. Now, on the outside, avoidant love often looks like extremes. There are moments of surprising warmth and connection between you. Deep talks late at night, long messages, strong physical chemistry, a sense of closeness that feels meaningful and personal. And then, without warning, there's distance. They go quiet, they get distracted, they seem emotionally unavailable or oddly detached. So let's dive in to what's actually happening, because this misunderstood detail is the key to unlocking the truth about your relationship. Research on avoidant attachment shows that many avoidant adults genuinely do want to feel that connection. They have the same desires we all do: to feel emotionally safe, to feel seen, feel valued, and feel accepted for who you are. Now, they also have a strong drive to protect their independence and emotional control. And you'll know this when you see patterns like everything feels perfect when you're together until you bring up something important and they seem to shut down. Or it feels as if they were love bombing you one moment, then cold and distant the next. Or just as you're really starting to feel this bond growing between you, you might hear them say things like, I can't give you what you need, you deserve better, I don't want to hurt you. And if you happen to lean more anxiously attached yourself, then their actions are deeply confusing, because you're stuck between two realities. One where you're soulmates and this person clearly loves you, and one where you never seem to matter to them at all. So naturally, when they start to withdraw, it feels like a betrayal of all the love that you share. So let's take a closer look at this, because this is where the deeper story begins. To really understand why this happens, we have to look at what's going on inside an avoidance mind. Now, attachment research suggests that avoidant individuals often grow up learning that needing others emotionally was unsafe, unreliable, or led to being shamed. So, as kids, they learned when you open up too much, you get ignored, snapped at, or made fun of. So, basically, getting close to someone causes stress, and that stress feels dangerous. Now, before we make any judgments about that or your partner, I'd like you to take a moment and begin to notice how you feel that stress and danger too, just in the opposite direction. And if you really begin to think about it, when someone you care about pulls away from you, then naturally you feel that stress. And that stress feels like danger. Now, most people get this next part completely wrong, but it's critical to understand. People who are securely attached can feel stress from either direction, someone getting too close or someone pulling away. But this does not feel dangerous. It does not leave them feeling hurt, angry, or rejected. It's just a problem that you talk about, work through, or let go of. Now, if you want to dive deeper into anxious and avoidant attachment, then watch this video linked above. But for now, it's just important to know that when avoidants feel stressed, they start turning down their attachment needs and stop expecting emotional support. Researchers call this a deactivation strategy. Basically, these are mental and behavioral habits formed at a young age that cause them to feel more in control when things start to feel too intense. So, inside an avoidance head, that can look like starting to focus on someone else's flaws right after having a great date, replaying memories about a controlling ex and what happens when you get too close to someone. And they might start to think about how much better things are when they're alone. And this can happen just when you're really feeling this connection between you has become something special. Now, here's the real meaning behind that. On the inside, they're oscillating between two experiences. On one level, there's this feeling of, I like you, this feels good, this feels right. And on another level, there's this feeling of stress and the need to have some emotional distance. And at the heart of all this is one truth, and I hope it stays with you because it can change how you move forward. When an avoidant shuts down, they are not rejecting you. They are not running from you. They are running towards what makes them feel safe. And what feels safe right now for them is control, independence, and emotional distance. Now, here's what changes when you really understand that. As you look back and start to remember the way this person made you feel, the sound of their voice, the way they looked at you, that deep, effortless connection that you shared, that can feel just as real to them as you in that moment. The problem isn't that they don't feel anything, it's that there is a moment where those feelings are so strong between you that it triggers an internal alarm, a feeling of danger, and their gut reaction is to turn towards what feels safe for them. And that's emotional distance. So, what it really comes down to is this: you are not imagining the good moments. That connection feels real because it is real. And you're not alone. Studies show that roughly 20 to 25% of adults have an avoidant attachment style. And that means a lot of people out there are capable of real affection while still needing a lot of emotional distance. Now, I need you to pay close attention here because we've reached a turning point in this video. And understanding this next part will save you years of confusion in the future. When you're anxiously or securely attached, being close to someone usually feels like something you can keep coming back to. Even after a bad day or a fight, you can text, argue, make up, go live your life, and still have this underlying sense of, we're connected and this person is still here for me. And because of that, you experience relationships as a continuous journey where you're becoming closer and closer with each moment that you share. Now, each day builds on the one before it. Yesterday folds into today. Today grows into tomorrow. And day by day, you build the story of your relationship. And for most of you, in the beginning, it wasn't just good, it was electric. You might have stayed up talking until 3 in the morning. They opened up and shared in a way that they never had with anyone else. And looking back, you remember how powerful this connection between you feels, almost as if it were a fairy tale. And because of that, you told yourself this is different. This is real. There's no other way to explain it. You can't fake that connection until one day they started to pull away. Their replies got shorter, they became more distant, and when you asked what was wrong, they didn't say, "I'm leaving." They said, "I just need some space." Or, "We're moving too fast. I'm just not ready for a relationship right now." Even though it felt like they were the ones speeding things along. And so now that they're acting like it wasn't anything at all, your brain short circuits because it conflicts with what your heart remembers. And you think to yourself, did I make it all up in my head? Was I just a placeholder? Were they faking it the entire time? So let's go a little deeper here, because you've probably never heard the actual reason why it feels so real but can still fall apart. Here's the key distinction that finally starts to untangle this. Now, you've experienced the relationship as a continuous story. Your attachment system knits these moments together into the story of us, how we evolved, how we grew and came together, the good times, the bad times. It's all part of your story. You can feel the relationship growing, deepening, becoming something you both share as time goes by. Avoidance experience love in a different way. For them, connection often comes in moments, vivid, real, and meaningful. The two of you are growing closer and closer together every moment until something activates emotional stress. And when that stress hits, their mind shifts into protection mode. And for them, in that moment, emotional stress feels like incompatibility. Now, that doesn't mean it's true. It's just how their body reacts when closeness feels too intense. They no longer feel that connection. They just need to feel safe. Now, when this happens, you probably feel safer reaching out to your partner. But for them, it feels safer being independent and alone. Here's the critical thing to understand: pulling away helps them feel calm, but it also breaks the sense of continuity, the emotional thread that ties all of your experiences together into one story of your relationship. For you, that stress feels like something to work through, a challenge to overcome, just one more part of your story together, that you should get closer to them and work this out. Now, for them, it feels like a sign that the relationship might not work and that they should step back, slow down, and get some distance. It doesn't feel like a problem to be solved. It feels like a sign that something might be wrong. And they feel maybe the relationship has run its course and they feel emotionally disconnected until they've had some time apart from you and start to relax, feel calm, and can reconnect once more. This is how they experience relationships in chunks, separate moments that stand alone while you feel it as a continuous flow. Here's how it all feels for them. At first, everything feels easy. They're comfortable opening up to you. They're sharing things they've never shared before. To them, it really feels like this relationship can work because at this point, you both are still growing together, moving through this experience in the same way. This feels real because it is real. Everything is just coming together. Now, they don't always know exactly what happens, but slowly or all at once, they start to feel this pressure. It's like being trapped and their chest begins to tighten and they just need to pull back. They can't even explain it properly to themselves. They know they care for you, but something starts to feel like too much. Too much talking, too much emotion, just too much of everything. And the more anyone asks of them, the more needy, clingy, and overbearing it feels, to the point where it's all too much. Too many questions, too much texting, wanting too much time together. It's not that they don't care, they do, but suddenly it all feels overwhelming and they just need some space. They don't want to argue. They don't want to have a big talk. They just want to be by themselves for a while so they can breathe and calm down. Now, it's not personal. They just feel better and more like themselves after some time on their own. And if someone tries to pull them closer at that moment, they start to feel trapped and think, maybe I'm just not ready for a relationship. Maybe I'm better off on my own. Maybe they deserve someone better because I don't want to hurt them. Now, after some time apart, their head clears. They remember that they actually like being around you, that what they felt in the moment wasn't as serious or as bad as it seemed. And because of that, they start to miss the good parts, remember you, and often come back. Now we get to the most important reframe of this entire conversation. There is a difference between the love someone feels inside themselves and the way that love actually shows up in a relationship with you. Avoidant people can feel love, attraction, care, even longing. That's the part that lives inside of them. But if they need to pull away, and you need to be close, then the way their love shows up might not be right for you, even if the connection is there. So when you say it felt real, you're not wrong. You're just missing the second half of the puzzle. It felt real, but was it right for me? This is the question that changes everything, because this distinction protects you from two painful traps. The first is telling yourself they never loved me, which erases your experience. And your experience was real, even if it fell apart at some point. The second is telling yourself they loved me, so I should wait until they come back healed. That can just keep you stuck. Real love means accepting a person for who they are, not waiting for them to change. So the question that really matters now is not, did they love me? The question is, can they love me in a way that feels consistent, safe, and right for me? And can I do the same for them? Can you love them in a way that feels consistent, safe, and right for who they are? That's the shift that moves you out of confusion and waiting and into choosing what's truly right for you. Now, if you're in no contact right now and struggling to hold the line, then I created something just for you, the no contact safety net. It gives you support for what actually happens in no contact, how to start strong, how to respond calmly, and how to know exactly what to do if you slip up or panic later. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. If you want that extra layer of support while you go through this, then you can click that link. Now, if this helped you understand why the relationship felt real, even though it fell apart, then the next piece is understanding when your avoidant will actually realize what they lost. You can start with the video linked here, and if you keep replaying the relationship in your head, this one explains why your mind won't let go. Now, if you found this helpful, please subscribe and let me know in the comments, because it helps me to know what content to make for you next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.